What's up, guys? It's Nick back with another video. I know it's been quite a long period of time. It took a lot of time to figure out based on my team for the next season. I was also balancing a bunch of other stuff. I'm back doing Metafy again, which that link will be down below. I've started helping coach Northwood and will be for the upcoming season as well. So I got my first college win and then followed it up with my 5th regional win and my first one in about 2 years, right? But there's a lot of talk based on our team, and honestly, I'm recording this Sunday after RLCS for NI, so we all just saw Gen G's run, and Gen GK, as they're called, as they were able to get over the line and join us. And you can see the smile on my face. I am really happy for those guys. Reddles is a really good friend of mine. Cheese is a good friend. I talked with Greg quite a bit as well, so we get to see the craziness. What a slot by Archie. And we're just going to have the KC game in the background. If I talk too long, well, hands up, you know what I mean. That's my bad. But I'm back in NA. I've been kind of all over the place recently because I do go to Birmingham for Sheffield for every single boot camp. We're gonna be in Birmingham for this major boot camp as well. I think we're gonna be joined by Taking Toss Secret and a couple others. But I see everyone else do a regional recap video, and it's not a great regional recap video if you're going out 8th every time. So here we go. We won the regional, and we kind of made one of the craziest comebacks in RLCS, and then Gen G went and did just as well as us, so fair play. But let's talk about the bracket. Let's talk about the Friday, where we started off playing Team Vitality. This was a matchup where we talked about it a lot of, at this point we had nothing to lose coming into this entire tournament, and the entire philosophy was make teams as uncomfortable as possible and go for a bunch of kickoffs. And Archie was the person leading pretty much all the kickoffs. That's why you saw us go for so many fakes and so many delays or doubles. We had quite an arsenal, and they were really, really good at it, Joyo and Archie, when they had it on Oxygen. And it was crazy to see us put it into use this tournament. It didn't quite start off as well as we'd hoped. I don't think we played bad during the Vitality series. We talked about it all afterwards, where we were really happy we just showed fight, because a lot of times we had laid down and died, especially like off the top of my head, the NIP 4-0 series. There was a couple times we should have gone 2-0 up in series, like against KC in the quals, and we would struggle to kind of rebound after we would take a tough loss. And this was the first series we showed a lot of fight. Even the game 4, which we end up losing 2-1, it's because we botched a kickoff. We didn't really feel like we got outplayed. We felt like we missed a lot of chances, which had kind of been the story of our season as well, where we hadn't been as ruthlessly effective if we wanted. And instantly, it was our first time in lower bracket. We haven't gone through an upper bracket yet in groups. We've had some quite hard runs. I think our losses in uppers are to General Mates, which, looking back at this split, is not a great loss, just because of how they've performed, and then going out, I think they're 17 points overall right now. This has been a rough split for them. But we lose that. What a pass, man. Archie was on it this weekend. He was absolutely unreal. Like, he was so good. And we get into the series versus Sick, which is against Billy, which is, funnily enough, Archie's old coach from Oxygen. And somehow he scammed his way into another regional. Big Bill. He had a flip reset on us. Potentially his best ever shot. Really proud of Bill. And yeah, it's a bit of a troll series. It was when we also firstly saw Oli on the Batmobile. I don't want to give any spoilers, but I will just say I saw Oli in the Lightning McQueen card today, so we'll see what happens during the major. But it low-key worked for him. Like, he was absolutely unbelievable. And he didn't really like the card this year. Oh, Archie, oh no. This is the only way we can see it. We can see, I think, 3 goals this series. This was one of them. We could get hit on the counter here. But we were like lights out this series. We were so good. But we first see Oli on the Batmobile. We did a bit of troll cards as well. You see Joyo on the Dominus, I believe, that series. Not his favorite card. If anything, I probably expected to see him back on like the Skyline, like Queso vibes again. But not quite. But that series was unbelievably easy. I think we scored 15 goals in like 3 games. Sick aren't really a regional team, and you know, we kind of got our luck there. The first real team we played was Ascend. They're coming off quite hot form. They knocked Channel Mates out in the second regional. They knocked them to lowers in Regional 2. They came off in a decent series versus NIP. That's a great save by Joy. And also, they were in Game 7 OT, I want to say, against Starpoint to make top 6 in the last split, or last regional. So, Nico, Matt, and Juke, it's a really good young team. It's two good Frenchies. How does he keep that out, man? That is unreal. What a save by Joy. Nico, Matt, and Juke. I think Nico's got absolutely bags of potential. I think the kid's absolutely ridiculous. He's very, very good. I know Jack clickbaits him every single day. It's like the new Khaled. But that guy's a baller. First two games were incredibly dominant. And I'd say, honestly, the entire series were incredibly dominant. This is a very, very good counter-attacking team. It reminds me a lot of Omelette in North America. It goes to Game 5. 2-1-0 wins where we just felt like we were really hard done by. Like, the OT goal, I want to say in Game 3, Oli just gets stomped on in the Batmobile and the car glitches out, leads to a goal. Another one where we just get hit on the counter. We were hyper dominant and it just didn't work out. But let's watch a Batmobile gameplay when it was cooking, which it was against in this series. I know he's got an absolute Slotosaurus Rex. But we low-key thought there's a chance we'd go out on Friday, especially with how hard our group was. But in that Ascend series, we were so dominant. We were really confident of just how we were playing. We were much more willing to commit than we had been all season. And we can see how it worked out for us. We're a really elite team when we're aggressive, and we're just playing for each other. I think it was our best comms, our best energy, our best willingness to win, which sounds like something so basic, but when you're a team that has to rely on a lot of confidence, which most teams are, especially in a game where everyone's so young, and this is a game where anyone can beat anyone on the day, and it'll be the same thing in the major, that you want to take full advantage of that. And that's where I struggled a bit as a coach, probably overthinking a lot of things, and that's why I give a lot of credit to Archie. Like, this dude was an absolutely god-tier leader this weekend, more so than I've ever seen him, and, like, not to say ever I thought was possible, because I told him a lot, that's what I wanted to see from him, but this guy was lights out. I think he really got us over a lot of strong moments. Oli also stepped up to, like, unbelievable levels of, like, his communication, his willingness to kind of play for the team more so than anything. Like, this guy was probably the best forcer in the game. Like, this dude won every challenge. He forced the ball so well. And that started in the Vitality series, where we played them again and we thought, okay, we can win this. Like, we thought we played a really strong matchup the first time. We had kind of already known the bracket. Like, I told them that this was, like, quite a big series, and also it's just, like, on a pure confidence thing. We hadn't beaten anyone this split. Like, all of our wins were BANG! From downtown. All of our wins were against quite poor teams. I think probably our best win was, like, Synergy, maybe? I'm trying to think. We didn't beat anyone, like, in tournaments. So to get the win over Vitality, we were really dominant. Game 1 we lost. I don't feel like we deserved to lose. Game 2 we won. I don't think we deserved to win. So there was, like, a little bit of trade-off. And we just played unbelievably well. Even Zen hits one of the shots of the tournament, which didn't get talked about at all because it's a seeding match, right? Like a corner double where it's just like, you know what, fair enough. Like, that could be a blow to a team's confidence, and these guys just completely shook it off and got it over the line in the OT. With, I think it was actually like 15 seconds left. Like, these guys were on it. Like, they absolutely nailed it. So, we come in the next day. We know our bracket's quite doable, to be honest, to make a run. We have 100% who's been our bogey team all split, and it's been really difficult. We lost them in the seeding matchup in Regional 1. We lost them in Game 6 in Regional 2. And now we play them again in Regional 3. They're fighting for a major, their first ever major. And also, like, it's an ex-teammate of Joyo and Oli's, like, you know you want to beat them. So, there's obviously a little bit of tension on the line. We finally break our curse. We finally break it. And I finally break my top 8 curse, because I think it was 9 out of my last 10 events, or something stupid, was top 8, spawning from Worlds in 23-24 with Falcons. So, that was nice to get over the line. That was so nice to feel that way. And we also knew, realistically, if we beat them, we're going to draw Redemption, because KCR not losing a Redemption, and that's a free top 4. The 100% series, we showed a lot of resolve. No Williams. But we were really, really dominant, especially that Game 5. We didn't end up taking a timeout when we lost Game 6. We played unbelievably well. We missed like 2 or 3 shots. Like this series was easily the sloppiest we had all weekend, even including the series we lost. It was panicky. It was really, really panicky. And it even shows in Game 7. I think Joyo missed 2 or 3 open nets, but no one cares. Like, if you win, no one cares, right? Any mistakes are bound to happen. It's life. And we get that Game 7 on the line. I think we went down 2 or 3 times. Like, we kept rebounding over and over. We went down with a minute left, and Archie had that unbelievable double tap off the ceiling that I just went, whoa. Like, this is happening, right? Resi own goals. And we almost end up conceding, right? Like, this was a sloppy, sloppy series. And it was very back and forth, but to be honest, we felt in control. I think we looked at the stats afterward. We had something like 85 shots to 50. What a clutch save from Joyo. And I remember in this game, I told him something like, it don't matter if you make mistakes, like, you'll get them back for us. Any mistake we make, we'll score too. Like, we cannot care about mistakes. And that's how these guys played. They played with absolutely no fear. And if we show this version of us at the major, there's no reason we can't go to win, right? Like, go the absolute full length. And now it comes to the series against Dig. We actually had a pretty good feeling about playing Dig. It was the one top team we hadn't played yet this split. We felt, okay, I'll say I personally felt that they had gotten a little bit lucky with their brackets. So they had a free top 6 pretty much every single regional. I don't think they really played like a top 6 team, but they executed, right? They did what they needed to do. They got over the line. Would have been a beautiful kickoff goal. We'll go to Joyo's POV this game. But they did what they needed to do. So fair play to them. And then they were able to beat NIP. They were able to beat Vitality the other time. Like, they got the wins when they needed them. And funnily enough, if they would have lost to NIP, we would have ended up making the major over them instead of over NIP. Assuming it goes how it did. But we have probably a stronger matchup against Dig than NIP. And Dig has kind of looked like the EU2 this split. I think they've looked better than Vitality. But this was a series that afterwards people were saying Dig through. Like, I saw org owners tweeting that they threw. These guys just played such a great series that's why it was so awkward. Against Dig, especially at the start of the season, I thought they were going to be 6 or 7. They looked terrible in scrims. They've improved a ton. So where I'm probably saying they are in that like EU2-3 category. That I did not expect. They're at the level I expected NIP to be honest, before the season. So now, in that series, we win 7-1 the first game. And I didn't even talk about the Redemption series. The Redemption series was very, very forgettable. It was a quick 4-0. The coolest thing was the AFK kickoff. We knew, on paper, we should win that. We did. Like, that series wasn't close. Then we go into Dig, which, sorry, I totally forgot about Redemption. That was, funnily enough, the Redemption series. I had a nightmare/dream the first day that I slept through that series. I thought I woke up to like 60 text messages from Archie and Oli of like, where are you? Which was weird because we were in the same apartment anyway. And I had that dream, and we lost 4-2. So, glad that didn't happen. Glad I didn't let that one play out. Kind of how my mind had to play out. And then we were able to play Dig. Dig the 7-1 first game, like, we were on it. We scored 2 seconds in, I think, because of a double kickoff, and Oli then finishes it. We were lights out this series. Like, we were so good. Like, I have nothing but positives. I don't think Dig played the best in general. I don't think they executed very well, but you can start to see a couple of the issues with how the Dig team plays, and now they have a really hard matchup in the first round of Swiss, where I think they play Complexity. That'll be really interesting. And I've still got friends over there at Dig with Jack and yours mainly. So hopefully they recover a bit. Hopefully not more than us. But I think they'll be better for the major. But that series was very comfortable. It didn't really feel like we were struggling at all. Probably the main thing I remember is I went to do an AFK kickoff again, and Archie just said, like, don't don't make them mad, don't be dumb. So that was really good leadership from him as well. It's really smart from him. And we were dominant. We were really in control. Even that game for the last minute of defending, I was really, really proud of the guys because it was just so talented to get it over the line and not really have to worry about anything. Because they were throwing everything at us, but our communication on defense, which especially had been lacking the split and scrims and led to a lot of like our frustrations, like they cleaned it up, they nailed it. It was absolutely perfect. And then we finally played KC. We had, I believe, a 45-minute server delay. We had a 10-minute one versus Dig, which we didn't really care about, a 45-minute server delay. We had been playing since I think about 2 p.m. And the finals was at like 8 or 9. My players made me go get them food, so I had to run to a Shell because the Waitrose was closed and all the other grocery stores were closed. I just got them chips and stuff just to do something. I remember I put in the chat with Farah and the admins like, hey, can we delay this till 30? Like an extra 5 minutes just so I have time to run, and I booked it, bro. About a half mile, I booked it. In the rain, right? Absolutely pouring down. My socks were soaked, but we got it over the line. Got back, probably had like 5-10 minutes to spare. And then we were finally ready to play KC. Archie said, we're just here to win the regional. We're not here to make the major. We had talked about like going home early the entire tournament. This was the first time I think we really talked about like, okay, let's win. Wasn't even talking about the major. We all talked about it afterwards. I think most of the time it kicked in after we won that game 2. And they called the timeout of like, okay, we can win. I think it was Archie as well. After we won game 3, said it's still KC. Maybe it was Oli. Like, it's still KC. They can still come back because this is the best team in the world. And I don't think many people will argue that. They just didn't show it on the day. And I think we also played to ruin them. We were the first team that's really like, kind of stepped it up to KC and said, you follow us, not we follow you. And that is incredibly important against these hyper aggressive teams. It's a Mike Tyson quote of, everyone's got to play until you got punched in the face. And we punched them in the face over and over again, and they just had no answer for us. This game 4 was quite rough. I think they were pretty dominant. We even had some like uncharacteristic whiffs, but we got it over the line most importantly. As you obviously know, right? We went 12-0 on the day. I don't remember much of it. It was a bit of a blur. It was a lot of emotion. It was a lot of pent-up emotion of having struggled for so long. I made a tweet afterward of how long it had been since all of us won a regional. Oli and Archie together, Joyo, all the way back in Moist days. Me was back with Falcons, but before that it was Queso days with Joyo. So it's pretty obvious it had been a while, right? I guess it just goes to show like how good these guys are on their day, and these guys can easily be the best team in the world again over and over. And I haven't been perfect this split, none of us had been. It was great for us to finally break so many of the things that had caused us to struggle and finally get the result that I feel like these guys deserves and had the capability of doing it. Like I was saying before the split, like these guys can all be individually top 10 in Europe and it's not a question. And I got called quite delusional by a few people, but whether it be friends or family or other pro players, like I had a lot of faith in these guys, and some of it started to wane as the split went on, and like our frustrations, which we had all talked about, and they proved any single doubt I had of them or what we were doing wrong. And there's so much pride that I have for these guys, because damn, like we're coming into this major on such a high, and a little bit of whiff. We've set ourselves, like we've recovered our entire season in one weekend. And to be the first team ever to have to win a regional and do it to make a major is unreal. And the fact another team did it in another region the next damn weekend is even crazier, right? But I'm really excited to finally be back at a major. I had a streak for a couple years of like every single time the major was on my birthday I'd make it. And then that stopped. Because I missed the last one with M80. So I get to go back to Birmingham for my birthday. It was also the first time I made a Europe LAN that wasn't Germany. So Falcons had already qualified before I even got there, so it was irrelevant. But this was the first time I make a Europe land. I wanted to make the UK lands for a while. I kind of feel bad for Joy and Archie because, well, they're just taking an hour shuttle, right? It's not anything crazy for them. We won the regional, and yeah, I think you kind of saw on the clips like how much pure emotion there was, like even hugging them and just seeing like, holy shit, we did it. It was unbelievable. And now we've got a pretty good matchup for the major. We play Africa first round, which is Foot GG, or Foot GG, that's a FIFA site. Foot, which is a Turkish organization. They just picked up the Spanish team of BK Salen, Lioro, and Torres, I think. So hopefully a matchup that we're favored in, and we can get a good 1-0 start to the major, and then it can be anything from there with Swiss. I'm not a huge fan of the Swiss Bukals that 3, 4, and 5 don't play each other to decide who goes to uppers. It's just straight up, is your Bukal score good? I think it would have been better if you played for your spot where 3 locks it in, 4 or 5 play for each other, as opposed to, well, anything can happen. I remember at this point we were talking about, like, just be calm, like, we got this. It was the same thing of, like, when we scored this final goal. We just watched the kickoff, right? And I think we finally start putting down our controllers with about 5 seconds left when we get this clear in the corner from Oli, which this dude just won every challenge. Like, you look at that challenge, it's ridiculous. And it's just, oh my god, we won. He's still playing. I think Joyo puts his... Yeah, there's Archie. Controller down. Joyo, controller down. And we make the miracle happen. So, let's touch on the major just a tad bit. We'll look at that real quick. Here's all the games for the major. I think the favorites are probably going to win most of these. Because it's Bukals, it's 1 versus 9, so we can have the perfect setup, assuming there's no upsets, where you would have 8v9, 7v10, 6v11, as opposed to if you were to do it where KC play Foot first round, then it's like, you get some really weird matchups. I think it's 7 versus 8, 10 versus 12, 11 versus 9, I think. But maybe wrong on that, but that is why. And to be honest, Europe's got a lot of really good matchups. We want Europe to do well to get the 5th seed for the last chance qualifier, and also just like purely from an egos perspective. But as I said, we play Foot GG. Foot GG, man, I keep saying this. Foot the first round. This should be a series we're really confident coming into. A couple of the other series, I'm really curious about this Dig Complexity series. This should be a good one. Vitality Twisted, Falcons Team Secret. I think the Secret team's got a lot of potential. I'm a huge fan of Mata. We tried him out on an M80, funnily enough, with Joyo. I really like them. Twisted have looked really good with Rise and Nupo. So Vitality have kind of been struggling. Maybe they keep struggling. I'm not sure. Gen GK, the 2 Cinderella runs. I think everyone wants to see us two do well. And maybe we'll even end up playing, right? A lot of friends over there, so that would be a great match. But just wanted to check in. Thank you guys so much for hopefully enjoying this video. We'll probably bring out a little bit more. I got a few content ideas in the back of my head, mostly long-form content because I just prefer it. If you do want more short-form content or coaching us videos, I can bring those back into play. I am starting to do Metafy again. Metafy.gg/@NickOnRL. The link will be down below, and it'll probably have a pop-up on screen, hopefully, as well. Where some of my hourly rates are starting at like $10-15. So if you're interested in checking that out as well, it'd be greatly appreciated. The only other thing I've really been up to was Collegiate, which I mentioned. And it actually doesn't have it here, which is heartbreaking because I thought I was cooking here. Where Collegiate RL, I was trial coaching for Northwood. There we go. We were able to win the first regional there, or 3rd regional, but my first regional, which was Hockey and Creams, and those guys went and got a top 4 as well. So I'm really proud of them in the NA regional. So thank you so much, guys. It's good to be back. Peace.